Story broke on Tuesday. The Development Bank of Southern Africa, DBSA, advancing a 3.5 billion loan to SA carrier SAA. DBSA says this loan is a structured facility and will be drawn over a period of time. To help us unpack this story, we have in the studio the Chief Financial Officer of the Development Bank of Southern Africa, Ms. Boitumelo Mosako. Thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you, Desiree.
There has been a lot of confusion around this loan. Everybody knows that SAA is already over-indebted. In terms of security and risk, what guarantees did you get that this loan will be paid back?
What I'd like to clarify is that this is actually not a loan to SAA. This is an equity bridge on behalf of the South African government. When SAA went into business rescue, there was a commitment for 4 billion, 2 billion from the lenders and 2 billion from the South African government. Now, due to legislative constraints, the 2 billion from government couldn't be advanced. So we were then approached together, with other financial institutions, both locally and
Does
internationally.
one replace the other?
Yes. So what we're saying is that government was supposed to put in the 2 billion. So we are putting it in on their behalf.
But there has been almost like an impression created that the SAA is still awaiting the government deposit, the treasury deposit.
No. We have actually advanced that on behalf of treasury, or on behalf of DPE.
How do you respond to concerns that this is a move away from the DBSA's mandate of having municipalities as your clients?
This is not a move away, in a sense that we still continue to support our municipalities, and transport is actually a key sector in terms of our DBSA mandate.
What kind of conditionalities did you put in place?
The conditionalities include the government guarantee, where DPE had to provide us a government guarantee with concurrence.
So there is a government guarantee?
There is a government guarantee. This is a short-term facility. It's a timing issue. In a sense, the government couldn't come up with the money now due to legislative constraints, and we are coming in to put the money forward, and it will be paid back within 6 months.
Within 6 months?
Yes. So
who
this
pays
is a
back the
issue.
DBSA, Treasury or SAA?
It's actually the Department of Public Enterprises.
All right.
Yes.
Maybe I should ask you to just unpack the deal for us.
Okay. In terms of, let me unpack it. We are advancing on behalf of Department of Public Enterprises to SAA. SAA, as it's,
so you're not dealing with SAA?
Yeah, no. This is purely on the back of a government guarantee. And the reason we're doing it is to allow for an orderly business rescue process.
So what you say the terms are over 6 months?
Yes.
Government has guaranteed this for you.
Yes.
How do you allay the fears out there in the public about departure from mandate?
What I'd like to say is DBSA has a very strong balance sheet and adequate capital to continue to actually, fund projects and municipalities and provide, our non-lending support to our municipality. So this is in no way astray from what we're doing as the DBSA. This is part of what we do, and we will continue to support our municipalities.
When you say you have a strong balance sheet, and one of the big conversations in the country at the moment is faltering state-owned enterprises, what do you attribute that to? Is it strong leadership? Is it your ability to adhere to governance? What is it?
It's actually a combination of those factors: strong governance, strong leadership, and following on our strategic objectives to enhance development impact in a financially sustainable manner.
So when did negotiations about securing this loan begin? Because there was absolutely no indication at all prior to the announcement that there was such a conversation at all.
The conversations actually, started happening 2 weeks ago. Yeah, more than 2 weeks ago.
Is that how swiftly it can happen?
Yes.
So what convinced the DBSA that this was the right route to go?
Okay, what convinced us that this was the right route to go was various factors, in a sense that our mandate is economic development. And when we saw that if government doesn't actually put this money in, what are the consequences of that? That would result in probably a liquidation of SAA that would totally disrupt the aviation industry.
Although there's no guarantee that that won't happen now that you've advanced the loan.
Yes, in the country, including related industries as well. So what we are saying is, how do we make sure that we come in, on behalf of government to actually allow the opportunity for the business rescue process to, unfold in an orderly manner.
Did Treasury let you in on what these legislative hurdles that they're talking about, specifically what are they?
Yes, they did actually, let us in on it. And as we know, before government actually distributes funds, is actually done through appropriation. Which has been legislated already? Yes, which has been legislated already, and that process still has to happen. This is a timing issue.
So the DBSA is confident that everything is above board and this loan has been carried out properly?
Definitely, we are comfortable with that. It actually went through our governance process as the bank. There was thorough negotiations, with the National Treasury as well, and the loan, is actually based on commercial terms.
So when SAA requests government, or when Treasury says to SAA will give you 2 billion rand, and the DBSA advances 3.5 billion rand, how did you reach that figure? That figure was actually reached as part of the due diligence process, to then say, okay, there are a lot of moving parts when you go through a business rescue process. So as we were going through the process, to then think what is actually required to actually allow for adequate funding, so that this can proceed well. So what then happened is that's when the additional 1.5 billion actually came about, to actually provide adequate funding to bring confidence into the market that SAA will continue to operate. So a business rescue process prioritizes creditors. There's been talk of that post or pre-commencement funding that's required. Are you privy into the exact items that this money will go into? Yes, because for now it's about us stepping in on behalf of government. It is the business rescuers process, prerogative, if I could put it that way, in terms of how that funding is supplied. What really, you have no control over what they spend the money on. On our side, we provide the equity, and the business rescue practitioners, they are closer to the action to actually make sure that this funding is adequately used. What do you mean when you say, you said this actually when we started the conversation about the loan being an equity loan. You could say that again? Equity bridge. Equity bridge. Yes. What does it mean? Does it mean that the DBSA gets to own a bit of SAA, or? No, what does it really mean? The DBSA doesn't get to own a bit of SAA. What it means is that government was supposed to provide the funding. We're doing it on their behalf. So we are stepping in on behalf of government. So South Africans who are watching, or global customers who use SAA, can they be encouraged by this development to say there's some hope, a little window of hope that the SAA will be saved? Definitely that there is hope, and that is the reason we actually did that. That is hope that they continue to fly SAA. Okay. Thank you so much for coming through to clarify this for us, but I'm going to take advantage of having you here, and just in terms of the mandate of the Development Bank of Southern Africa and your work with municipalities.
Yes.
We're going to elections next year, local government elections, and one of your biggest work is providing financial services to municipalities.
Yes.
Another big conversation at the moment is about allowing municipalities the right to develop or generate their own power capacity.
Yes.
What involvement does the DBSA have in this conversation?
In terms of the development there, what we would then do as the DBSA, we would provide technical support, to our municipalities, which we have done over the years on how this can be done, and in addition to that, provide funding to the municipalities. Obviously, at a back of a good business case.
Yeah, I'll take you back to that statement you said earlier about the financials of the DBSA sitting pretty. It's kind of like a contradiction when you look at the kind of problems municipalities are facing in terms of the management of their finances and the projects they're supposed to roll out, and they're unable to because we're told there isn't any money.
You see, the thing is, when you look at, because there are municipalities, that have the ability to borrow, and there are others that actually don't. And I think for municipalities to find themselves in a stronger position to be able to borrow money, it's an issue on how they work on their governance. Strong governance provides access to funding.
You're not assisting municipalities in this regard?
Yes, we do actually assist them in this regard, and that's why earlier on,
such a high number of them that are struggling.
Yes, there is a high number, but we do continue to assist our municipalities from a capacity building perspective.
We'd like to talk some more, but time constraints do not allow. Thank you so much for coming through to talk to us.
Thank you so much
this morning. Boitumelo Mosako is the Chief Financial Officer at the Development Bank of Southern Africa.